Hello student, myself Abhijit Bamre, working as assistant professor at Gokhale Education Society's Arts, Commerce and Science College, Jawhar. Today we are going to discuss Unit 1st, Chapter 1st, General Introduction to the Drugs. What is drugs? What are sources of drugs? What are requirements of an ideal drugs? Let's discuss. So student, what we understand, what mean by the drugs? It is an substance which is kill the microorganism that we call as drugs. In general, a drug may be defined as a substance which is used in the prevention, diagnosis, treatment or cure of the disease in man or other animal are called as drugs. According to WHO, definition given by WHO, any substance which is used or intended to be used, not only used, it is intended to be used for modifying and exploring physiological system and pathological state for the benefit of the recipient are called as drugs. Word drugs came from French word that is drogue. It means dry herb. Next, sources of the drugs. Drugs are presently came from following sources, that is chemical synthesis. Drugs are obtained from chemical synthesis. Next, drugs are obtained from higher flowering plant. Drugs are obtained from microorganism. Drugs are obtained from minerals, and drugs are obtained from animals. There are 50% of the drug are obtained from chemical synthesis, 25% of the drugs are obtained from higher flowering plant, then 12% of the drugs are obtained from microorganism, 7% of the drugs are obtained from minerals, and 6% of the drugs are obtained from animals. Chemical synthesis, then microorganism and minerals, total 69% of drugs are obtained from chemical synthesis, microorganism and mineral. Remaining 30% of drugs are obtained from higher flowering plant, animals and so on. Next, when we consume drugs, there are so many side effects. When we consume drugs, they kill microorganisms and cure us, but some drugs are harmful for us. So, what is an ideal drugs? What are requirements of an ideal drugs? There are some characteristics of an ideal drugs. That is, first one, it should act on desired site of action. It should act on desired site of the action. For example, suppose infection occur at the respiratory system and we consume drug. In such a case, the drug only act on the desired site. It should not affect the other body part. Next, it should act on a system with efficiency and safety. Next, it should not disturb physiological processes. It means it should not affect any biological processes, that is metabolism, some cellular processes. Next, it should be harmless to the host. Suppose we are applying particular drugs or at the particular site of the body. The body part should not affect only the region where microorganisms are killed. It should not affect the host. Fifth number, it should have minimum side effect. When we consume drugs, it's cure a disease, but same time it having some side effect. So ideal drugs, it should not have any toxicity, it should have minimum side effect. That's it. It is an requirement of an ideal drugs. Dear student, today we are discuss definition of the drug according to WHO, then sources of the drugs, then requirement of an ideal drugs. Go through it, learn it, read it. Thank you.